to Where I Long to Be, a magical trip report podcast. My name is Virginia, and I am your host. Thank you all so much for tuning in for another pre-trip report interview. I really appreciate all your support, especially when you send in a review through your podcast app or through my website, which is whereilongtobepodcast.com. So I would love to see some new reviews come in. Or also you can support the show by sharing it with friends. Today's guest, Lisa, actually learned about the show from her friend, Nats, who was a recent guest herself. And that is what I love to hear, friends sharing the show with friends. So before you exit your podcast app, please hit share or send the link to this episode to at least one person you think would enjoy it. Thank you so, so much. And I hope you love today's episodes. And with that, here's Lisa. Welcome to the podcast, Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be here.
Now, you come to me through your friend, Nats.
Yes, Nat's Ventures or Natalie.
How do you know each other?
So we have a very strange story, and people, I think it's a bit bizarre. We both were, I think, simultaneously starting our Instagram pages, have a love of Disney, and as you probably know, the Disney community is a bit mad, if I'm honest. You can sort of start a page, build presence very quickly, and just meet friends. And through doing that, I came across Natalie through Instagram, through TikTok, and we just got chatting about our love for Disney. And in a very, very small world way, it turns out we live within about 20 minutes from each other. We have so much in common just outside of Disney on a personal basis, and we instantly connected over all of those things. And it was just one of those things that I think it made me realize this person is meant to be in my life.
Yeah, there are some people like that. I mean, there are plenty of people out there in the world that I like, but there are certain people that you just meet them and it's just like a kindred spirit. And
100%.
you know, this person is going to be my friend for a
Yeah,
very
it
long
was
time.
just instant connection, and it was like we'd known each other forever. So we found that we were sort of talking through Instagram or through TikTok, and we were like, this is mad. We just need to text like normal people. So we traded numbers. We sort of did the whole online safety thing of making sure we were real people, telling our husbands and partners that we, had made a friend. And I think we felt almost like children, like starting again, like making this friendship. And it just spiraled from there, to be honest. And now in the space of what feels like forever, but I think is only about 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, we're like best friends.
Wow. Okay. It is very hard to make friends as an adult.
Really hard.
I'm sure you've experienced that. I'm sure listeners have experienced that. And I think that, like for me, when my son Alex, who is about to be 15, was very little, that's where I got my friends from, were the people that were the parents of his friends. And you're kind of forced into that. But then once he got a little bit older, you're not hanging out at the playground as much anymore. And so that's when I kind of really started to realize, oh, I've got friends who have been in my life a really long time that I don't see that often. And then I have what have now become sort of neighborhood acquaintances and people I say hi to as I pass on the street, but we don't get together really. There's a very small handful of people from Alex's elementary school days that I'm still friends with in any kind of meaningful way. And so that is one of the great things about this Disney community is that you're right. People reach out to each other and you start to feel like, oh, I actually am starting to get to know this person. And it's a wonderful way to make adult friends, and not just adult friends, Disney adult friends.
100%. And I think it's a way to, like you say, the instant connection in the Disney bubble is really weird. I mean, even just like us chatting now, it's just an instant common thread. It's a theme that you both like, and I just feel that the way it brings people together is a bit mad, if I'm honest, but in the best of ways.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you located and what's your background? How did you get into the Instagram and YouTube space? Because I know you have a YouTube
I
channel
do,
as well.
yes.
And, what brought you to Disney?
Yeah, so yeah, a bit about me. I'm 27. I'm living in a little village just outside of Reading in Berkshire in the UK. Hopefully, I'm sure you've got listeners across both places, but I'm sure my accent will give that away. And Disney for me, as a child growing up, I always loved Disney. I grew up on, the movies, the songs specifically. I'm trying to take myself back to like teenage days. Probably had Troy Bolton posters on my bedroom wall. High School Musical was the one when I was a child. But I'd been as a child to Disneyland Paris with my mum, and I, had pictures, had memories. But then through that sort of awkward age of being a teenager and a young adult, never had the money as a family to be able to go back and experience it. But there was always this tie of like, I don't care how old I am. I love Disney. I love the films. They're magical and they just give me like a warm hug. So as I got older, met my now husband. We got married in 2023, and we were so unsure what to do for our honeymoon. And we'd always talked about Disney, and it was actually my father-in-law that said, "Why don't you just go to Disney World for your honeymoon?" And that spark from there, the instant conversation was like, "That's the best idea that you could have like brought to us. Why did we not think of it sooner?" And yeah, that led us to our first Disney World trip together as adults. My husband
Mhm.
had been once as a teenager with his family, and we absolutely loved it. And from there, it sort of spiraled over the last 2 years that I thought, you know what? It is my happy place. Within our personal life, we've got some fertility struggles at the moment. And that's another thing that Natalie and I really connected on. And it doesn't matter for me what is going on like outside of the bubble, but Disney is that one thing that it brings me peace, it brings me inner happiness. So for me, starting the Disney page, starting the YouTube page was just my inner like happy place. It meant that no matter what else had happened that day, if I'd had a bad day, if I'd had bad fertility news, I could jump on the Instagram page and just instantly connect with that happy space. And yeah,
Mhm.
I think here we are today. I reached out, like you say, through Natalie. I loved the idea of doing a podcast and just being able to sit down and talk all things Disney and be in my happy bubble.
Yeah. I often hear people say that they have kind of turned to Disney in harder times, and that's when it really stuck for them. And that's true for me as well, because it really kind of became my thing when I went for the first time with my husband and my son and my in laws as a family. And it was mere, let's see, 6 months after my mom had passed away.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
thank you. It was the first time though after that that I really was able to kind of tune all that out and just feel happy and see the magic. And so I frequently hear people say that something has happened in their life and they go to Disney and it just changes everything. And that's the magic of the Disney bubble. So
It is, and I think, yeah, like I say, that tie was always there. And I think maybe as a female, it's slightly stronger sometimes than men. My husband loves Disney, don't get me wrong, but he's not wearing ears every day like I am. But when we got our fertility news at the end of last year, I think that's really, really when things ramped up because I thought I
mhm.
just need to have a safe space. And I'm starting to get to an age now where I just don't care what other people think. I have always heard from friends and family, just don't worry about what other people think. Do what makes you
Mhm.
happy. And I was like, yeah, this is what makes me happy, and I'm not embarrassed about that.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. The closer you get to 30, the better that will be, and when you hit 40, you will really not care.
Nice.
All right. Well, let's get into your trip plans. So, first of all, what inspired you to travel at this time of year, and who were you going with?
So, who I'm going with, probably easier to answer first, just myself and my husband. So, we are going back. And like I say, the last time we went was our honeymoon. So I think for us, it feels really special because you go to Disney once and you think it's going to be a once in a lifetime trip. Let's be honest, that never happens. Everybody tries to find every single penny they can and they go back. So
Mhm.
yeah, we're going back, which is amazing. And I think we were inspired to go back because, well, like I say, the personal things, but also just why would you not want to go to a place where as an adult you can just be a kid again?
Right.
I love it. Like
Mhm.
it's the one place you can go, like you say, you tune out, you don't worry about anything else, and you just have fun. So that's what inspired us to go back, if I'm honest, just being in that bubble all over again.
Mhm. And what about choosing this time of year to
Yes.
travel?
So we last went in December 2023. Now, obviously, I'm not super clued up on Orlando weather, other than knowing they have summers, they have rain, and you probably want to avoid the stormy seasons. But I wasn't 100% clued up on when those things would happen. And when we went in December, I'd been watching vlogs, up until our honeymoon and even afterwards. And so many people that went had this lovely, like, blue sky, almost like perfect day, I would say. Like, it was cool enough to still be wearing your short sleeves, but it wasn't baking hot. We had not a bad December, but it was colder than I had planned. And I ended up in cardigans. So I said to my husband, if we're going to Orlando again, I need it to be hot. I want to be warm. I want to be in my
Mhm.
dresses. I want to be in my shorts, my skirts. So we just sort of landed on June, no particular reason. I think we hoped that it should be a little bit before hurricane season. So we wanted, yeah, that nice summer weather. And I'm just hopeful that we're not going to see too much rain. We're not going to see too many,
Mhm.
storms, and we'll have dry days.
Did you see a lot of rain during that December 23 trip? Because I was there in December
Were
23,
you?
and it some of the worst rain I've ever experienced at
Yeah,
Disney.
we had one day. I mean, I think I was in quite a nice, like, as it was our honeymoon, like black dress, ready for dinner. We got to Animal Kingdom and we were going to Sanaa. And I remember getting off the bus. We hadn't planned this very well at all. And you know what the bus stops are like at Animal Kingdom. If you need to get around to the other side, it is just pure open air. And the heavens would not stop.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was normal. So we just
I mean,
accepted it.
there are just times when the rain is out of control there, and the December 23 trip that I took, there was one day that it rained from the very beginning of the day to the very end. I was walking around in wet shoes. It was
Wow.
so miserable. There's nothing much worse than completely soaking wet feet, except for
Yeah.
soaking wet feet that have blisters on them, and that
Oh,
was me. So, I've recently, within the past, I guess, 6 months or so, bought some really nice waterproof sneakers that I
nice.
love. So, because I was like, "I'm never doing that again."
Perfect for the
Um,
parks.
right, and then in the summertime, so when you're going, there tends to be rain around 3 o'clock. It's like a pretty consistent thing, but it's not all day in my
Okay,
experience. It's
that's good to
gonna
know.
like around 3 o'clock, it'll rain, maybe really hard, but probably for like 30 minutes to an hour, and
And
then
then
it's
stop.
done again.
And this is what
Yeah.
I've seen on the vlogs that I've watched when people have gone and it's rained. They say, you can be stood in the middle of a full park. The
Mhm.
heavens will open, and obviously, people that don't know how long that's going to last bolt and obviously try and get back to
Mhm.
hotels, probably their cars. And then you've got
Mhm.
the people that are slightly savvier that run into the shops, spend half an
Mhm.
hour mooching around, and by the time you walk back out again, it's blue skies, you've got nice quiet ride time. So that's my hope,
Mhm.
is if we do get some showers, it will be a nice break from walking around in the heat. We can go into the shops, and then that's an excuse to spend money as well, which I love.
I love that you're honest about that.
I mean, I'm not going to go to Disney and not buy things. I just think there's no
Right.
point pretending at this point.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they would be rude not to buy
It
something. I
would
mean,
be. You need a souvenir, right? At least. So that's one
yes,
thing. And the
of
likelihood is
course.
that's going to lead you to a couple more.
If you give a mouse a cookie,
Yes.
it's gonna need some milk. All right. Did you use a travel planner for this, or did you do all the planning yourself?
We did it all ourselves.
Okay. What kind of tickets have you purchased?
So we have booked direct with Disney. So from the UK, you can book various packages. And when we booked, there were some offers on for free nights, I think. They quite often swap what offers are on in the UK. It might be free nights, free dining plans, X amount of money off. And we just went straight for that. And the reason was that we went on property for our honeymoon. So we stayed at Coronado Springs. And I was really torn between villa property, but for me, I just, as much as I can be encompassed in the bubble, that's what I want to do. So yeah, we had a look online. The offers and the budget worked for us, and I was like, sold. Let's go.
How many park days do you have?
So we have got 7 full park days with travel days either side.
Okay. And did you get the hopper ticket?
Yes, so with the UK, that's included.
Oh, okay. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. We get, which I think differs, right, from in the US. We get the park
Mhm.
hopper included and memory maker just as our standard sort of ticket
Yeah.
price.
Yeah, we do not get that.
Wow. So you have
We
to add all of those on separately?
Yeah, so you have to choose whether you want a one park per day ticket or if you want to add Hopper. And adding Hopper is about the same price regardless of how many days. So even if you're doing a one-day ticket versus a well, maybe not a one-day ticket, but at least a two-day ticket versus a seven-day ticket, it's going to be the same amount additionally for the Hopper. It's usually about $90.
Okay.
And then if you want Memory Maker, you have to pay separate and you can get a reduced price on it if you do it before your trip, or you can purchase it after your trip after you see what your photos look like, for
Okay. So then
slightly
you can sort of
more.
preview them and decide if that's worth it for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I have an annual pass, and this is where all of these changes that have happened with Disney in the past few years really get to me. I mean, there are plenty of things that have changed that it's kind of like, yeah, I wish we didn't have to pay for fast passes, but we do. Fine, whatever. But this is one that really gets me is that Memory Maker used to be included with every annual pass. If you had annual pass, you had Memory Maker added on. And they changed that. So when you get an annual pass, now you have to pay like an additional $100 if you
Wow.
want the Memory Maker added. And that just felt, I'm going to say it, it felt very petty of Disney to me because that is not something that costs them a lot of money to provide you your downloads. And
No,
you're spending a
and
lot of
that's,
money in the
you're
parks.
being a loyal customer. You're buying an annual pass, you're
Mhm.
returning, and the likelihood is, even though you've already paid your park ticket essentially up front, haven't you? But you're still going to probably buy things when you're in the park. So
Oh my
they
gosh,
want to
yeah.
make that as appealing as possible, surely.
Right. So they took it away. I feel like if I remember correctly, I emailed Disney and was like, "This just feels really petty." And
Love that.
I was like, "I can take all the other stuff, but this feels like something that barely costs you anything to provide to annual pass holders, and now you're charging us for it." So, it did not do a lot of good, but whatever. I'm at the end of the day, I'm part of the problem because I'm still paying it because I want it, right? So, whatever. It
I
is
mean,
what
if
it
I was
is.
living where you're living and I was much closer, I would also probably be part of the problem. So,
Yeah. Anyway, but it's great for the UK visitors that you have all of these options, because I think it really entices you all to come over because sometimes you
absolutely.
hear about people coming, that far and you get sort of a longer trip than we might get
Yes.
in the US with our vacation days, and I know that there are people out there who are like, "How do they come for so long?" And it's because the deals that you all have access to are very good.
Yeah, the deals are
So
different, and I guess, like you say, our working holidays, I think it's slightly different
mhm,
to America. I won't pretend that I know it all because I don't, but I hear a lot of people say, like, exactly as you said, how can you come for 3 weeks? Well,
mhm.
for us, we take that 3 weeks and we still get, more holiday. So I think
Yeah.
the deals and that make it more accessible.
Right. Yeah. All right. So, where will you be staying for this trip?
This is the fun bit, actually. So we are staying at Pop Century. Brand new to me. Like I
Mhm.
say, we've only ever been once before anyway on our honeymoon. And we were so torn with resorts because there's a lot of Disney resorts, right? And they've
Mhm.
got, the beauty is they've got everything from the value to the deluxe. So there's something hopefully for your budget. But I think because we went all in on our honeymoon, we had that great experience at Coronado. I was worried that anything less than would feel disappointing. So we did a lot of research. We did lots of YouTubes, lots of Instagrams, lots of TikToks, looking at absolutely everything you can imagine. My husband is a big YouTuber, so if he's gonna make a decision on something, he's gonna know everything about it first, which I love for
Mhm.
him. I will do maybe shorter form content. I like to just take in short, snappy things, but he will go and watch, hour long YouTubes about where we're
Mhm.
staying, what's it all about. So we
Yeah.
landed on Pop, and I think Pop felt like the right decision for us because it's got the Skyliner, so it feels like
Mhm.
that added luxury of you've got two modes of transport, you're in the Disney bubble, and you're also super close because of that to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So
Mhm.
yeah, 8 nights at Pop Century. I'm very, very excited. And it's fun to explore a new resort, right? Like
Right.
we're going to get to see something new. We never ventured out there on our last trip, so it will be brand new.
Yes, and not only getting to explore that resort, but you're so close to Art of Animation. When you walk
Yes.
to the Skyliner, you can see Art of Animation just right there on the other side of it. You can very easily go over there and walk around. They have all of the different cars, characters that you can take photos with, and it's just a lot of fun. But you can also hop on the Skyliner. And this is my favorite thing to do when I stay at Pop is to go have breakfast at the Riviera, and not even like a fancy table service. Like I hop to the Riviera just to go to Le Petit Cafe and get the iced coffee and get some of the banana bread, or going downstairs to the quick service at Riviera, because they have wonderful breakfast options down there, but always get your coffee from upstairs at Le Petit Cafe.
So
It is
coffee
so easy to do
upstairs,
that.
quick service downstairs.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So interestingly, we went to Topolino's, and we'll
Uh-huh.
talk about Topolino's in a bit, I'm sure, because I'm very, very excited about Topolino's. But I never noticed, apart from when you walk in downstairs by the lobby, that first sort of coffee shop, I didn't
That's
spot
Le
anywhere
Petit
else for
Cafe.
coffee. Ah, okay.
So that is where you go in to get your coffee. The iced coffees there are so good. And then if you want to, not even to just eat it then, but maybe to take with you for later, they have a really good banana bread there that is just to die for. But then if you go downstairs, and go to the quick service, which you can go out the back,
Yeah.
or just go downstairs and down the hall. You don't have to go
I didn't
outside
even
for it.
spot a downstairs, so this is more exploring to do. I love it.
You'll see the stairs right there when you're in the lobby. Like the
Okay.
Le Petit Cafe is on your left, and then you'll see the stairs going down. When you go down the stairs, just go straight down the hallway and follow the signs to the quick service. You'll go over there, and you can, while you're on the Skyliner, you can mobile order your breakfast. Stop in, grab your coffee, go downstairs, grab your food, find a table outside, and sit and watch the Skyliner go
Love
past while
this.
you eat your breakfast. That's
Why, I have
an
to
ideal
ask, because
morning.
you're not the only person that said it, why the coffee at Riviera? What's like,
It's
I've
just
just
the
heard it's
best.
just good. Okay.
It's just the best. It is so good. And I mean, there's other good places to get coffee around property, but the Le Petit Cafe is by far my favorite. It's much better than buying your coffee down where you're getting your breakfast from. Down where you're getting your breakfast from, it's just going to be drip coffee.
Yeah.
Upstairs, you can get their cold brew.
Mm.
You can get like a latte. You can get whatever. So
Love
good.
this. Okay, my husband is a big coffee drinker and he does struggle a
Yeah.
little bit in America because the UK coffee and American coffee is very different. So I've been told. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a big coffee drinker to the degree that I would know the difference, but
Mm-hmm.
he really struggled when we last went with the sort of like you say the instant brew coffee, but
Mm-hmm.
having a
Yeah.
properly made, latte cappuccino, that was
Mm-hmm.
much better for him. So I will be writing that one down, Le Petit Cafe Riviera.
Yes, and the cold brew especially, that's what I usually get. They have an almond cold brew that is
Oh,
very good, and they have a what was the other one? Part of me wants to say lavender, but that's not right.
the almond one
Hopefully.
sounds delicious. That sounds like
Yeah,
something I would
the
have.
almond one is usually what I end up getting. So good.
Perfect.
And then from downstairs for breakfast, they have lemon ricotta pancakes that are very good.
In the
And
quick
then they
service.
yes,
That
and you
doesn't
can
even
mobile order
sound
it.
like a breakfast that should be a quick service option.
It's really good. And then there is a breakfast platter that comes with eggs, mascarpone polenta, bacon, and sausage, but you can add the polenta as a side item if you want. The only key to that is if you want a side of polenta, because it's so good, you cannot order the side of polenta via mobile order. You can
Okay,
only order that as a side in person. It does
fine.
come as a side with some of the entrees, but that is to me the best of both worlds because then you get your sweet with the lemon ricotta pancakes, and then you get your savory with the mascarpone polenta.
It's making me
So
hungry just thinking about it.
I know I'm such a foodie. Listeners probably are like, why does she talk about food and restaurants all the time? I just love and appreciate food. So.
But I also think that's such a big part of Disney too, right? It's not just about
Mhm.
the rides or the what, the who, the characters. The food
Yeah.
at Disney is, I find it just it's out of this world. It's something different. I know, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of like you say, quick service, not junk food, but it
Mhm.
can be quite carb heavy, but they also have some incredible food on property. And I
Yes.
think, yes, you might pay a little bit more for that, but to have those experiences and to do that, I 100% think it's worth it if you can at some point in your life go and do those nice experiences as well. But we all
Right.
love waffles and chicken tenders too.
If you don't, you're lying.
Yes.
Or you're vegetarian, I guess.
I mean, the waffles you can have still.
Sure, the waffles, and then I guess faux chicken.
And chips.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into sort of the day-to-day details of this trip. So you are departing from the UK on Thursday, June 12th. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
All right. What
Thursday,
time
June
is your
12th.
flight?
Our flight is at 10 to 2 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And we're leaving from Heathrow. So for us, it's about a 9 hour flight. So I think we're scheduled to land Orlando time about 6 p.m.
Okay. How are you going to get from MCO over to Pop Century?
So the plan is just to Uber. It's what we did last time, worked really
Mhm,
well, and they're in abundance, I've noticed at Orlando. I think we
mhm.
probably waited no more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I
So
have
yeah,
waited
plan is
longer than
Uber.
that, so just
Really?
be prepared.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good
it
to
just
know.
depends on the time of day or whatever, but I've waited up to 20 minutes before.
Okay, fine. Well,
So,
I think we'll probably, once we've got our bags, start looking at the Uber as we head outside. So
mhm.
yeah, the plan is to Uber over. We'll, I guess it's all very time dependent, isn't it? Depending on how long it takes to get through passport control, how long it takes to get bags.
Mhm.
I would like to be at the hotel around 8 p.m., 8:30 would be an ideal scenario in my head, but quite often the plans on paper do not always work.
That's true. But one of the things that I really enjoy hearing people talk about on the podcast are what their plans are and then what actually ended up happening and how they dealt with it, because that is important information for people who are planning their own trip to be able to know, because they are learning from it so that they can hopefully, have a better chance of having a smoother trip themselves.
Absolutely. And one of the things I learned, even just between our last trip and now, is, and you probably know this being an annual pass holder, Disney are constantly rewriting the rules. So once you think you've
Hmm.
learned something or you know it, the likelihood is it's going to be completely different by the time you go back.
It is true. It's true. I am constantly having to second guess myself and go, wait, does that still exist? Is this the way it actually is now? And it doesn't matter how often I go, because I go several times a year at least, because we live in New York City,
I
so we
love
can't
this for
just pop
you.
over
I'm so jealous.
every weekend. But I would say on average we go 3 to 4 times a year.
I love that.
But every single time I'm like, wait, what's closed? What's open? How did this rule change?
Yeah,
And so for people who are newer to Disney, it's not just you that thinks it's complicated. It's complicated.
good. I'm so glad to hear that because it's a minefield. I think the last time we went, Genie Plus was a thing, and now it's not
Mhm.
Genie Plus. Now it's Multi Pass, Lightning Lanes. I
Right.
have no idea what it's called right
Lightning
now.
Lane multi-pass
That's
and
the one.
Lightning Lane single pass for a couple
Yes.
of different rides. So, are speaking of that, are you planning on purchasing any multi-pass or single pass Lightning Lanes?
We're very on the fence. We're going
Mhm.
to, I think, take it day by day. From the UK, we can't actually book until we're in America now. So
Really?
even, yes, this is another mad thing. Some people have found workarounds for this. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on the podcast or not. But some people in the UK have used VPNs and found a way
Uh-huh.
around it so they can book, their week before they arrive, they can book their multipass and get planning.
Mhm.
But technically, from the UK, the app doesn't let you do it. So you have to find workarounds
Mhm.
to do so.
That feels very unfair. It's putting all of the UK people at a disadvantage when it comes to
Exactly
getting
that.
those lightning lanes. So I would say go for it. It's not so much to me a cheat to the system. It's a make the system that should be working for you anyway work,
Make it work.
because
I
why
agree.
isn't Disney making it work for you in the first place?
100%. And I
So,
also think, why does it matter that I'm not in the UK? Surely you want to take my money. So if
right.
you're making
Yeah.
that harder for me, it's going to put me off. So we're on the
Yeah.
fence about it. But I think, like you say, when we get into the days, I'll probably brainstorm out loud. There's a couple of days that I think actually we might need it there. So we'll see how we feel.
Yeah, and I always say you absolutely don't have to have it as long as you're willing to kind of find other ways to ride things with a lower weight.
Yeah.
So, are you going to be road trapping, that sort of thing? But if you do get it, it does make things easier. But if you get it, it does not mean you have to get it for every single day of your trip.
No, and
You
that's the
pick and
beauty of
choose.
it, right? The
Yeah.
flexibility of it's by day, and you can make it work for you how you want to use
Right.
it.
Yeah. All right. So, presumably, because of the time that you'll be arriving at Pop, you will be exhausted and at the most will probably want to grab a bite to eat and then get some rest.
I have some slightly
Do you have
wild plans,
plans?
a
Oh
little,
my goodness.
nothing
Okay. What's your
wild,
plan?
but when we land, because we are on a slightly shorter trip than last time and we are crammers, like I just want to do and see as much as I physically can. Night
Mm-hmm.
one, the plan, shall I say, is to head to Disney Springs to World of Disney because I want to get a Loungefly. And the Loungefly to me is a necessity because with the YouTube channel, with the vlog, with all of the stuff I'm going to be carrying, I need a cute Disney bag.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that's a no-brainer. And then get food. We are thinking currently a Blaze pizza between us. Never had it
Mm-hmm.
before, heard really good things about it, and then back to the hotel, back to bed. So it could be quite a late night, but I also know I just need to get myself onto Orlando time as quickly as possible, and staying up
Mm-hmm.
that bit later might help me sleep slightly longer in the morning.
Okay. How are you going to get to Disney Springs? Are you going to rely on Disney transportation or take an Uber or a Lyft?
I think we're gonna just get on the bus, hopefully. We wanna this is all time dependent, right? But if everything
Mm-hmm.
runs smoothly, runs to plan, I'd like to get to the hotel, drop our bags off, probably just pause for a minute and take in the fact like we're here, we're in
Mm-hmm.
Disney, and then
Yes.
yeah, get on the bus, head to Disney Springs. I think that's the beauty of Disney transportation, right? If you're there, you've
Mm-hmm.
paid to be on property. I mean, even without paying it to be a hotel guest, you can use the bus services and it's
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. All right, let's get into your first full day,
Yeah.
which is dun dun dun, Friday
Magic
the 13th.
Kingdom.
No, it's Friday the 13th.
Oh,
So,
I hadn't
be
even clocked
prepared.
that. You're right, it is Friday the
Be
13th.
prepared. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like the characters that go with Friday the 13th are probably over at Universal. But
True, true.
all right, what are you doing at Magic Kingdom this day?
So, Magic Kingdom, the plan is get up, have breakfast at the hotel, likely, although possibly because of your recommendations, head to Riviera and have breakfast first.
You know what? If you want to take advantage of Magic Kingdom, I would save Riviera breakfast for a day that you're going to Epcot or Hollywood Studios
Do that
because
on
you
the
have to get
way.
on the Skyliner anyway. Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a very good point. So, yeah, likely plan is breakfast at the hotel, take the bus to Magic Kingdom. And there's a couple of rides that I want to try and do first thing. So we are rope droppers, if I haven't made that clear already. We love getting up early, being in the parks, making use of that, half an hour early entry magic hours. I have no idea what people call it anymore. And
Mhm.
then when the park gets slightly busier, like midday with other guests coming in, people with maybe families and children, that's when we take ourselves out of the park for a few hours and we enjoy the other magical things that Disney has to offer.
What are your priorities at Magic Kingdom for this day?
So, priorities are Tron, Seven Dwarfs, People Mover. That could be an unpopular opinion, but for me, it's an essential.
It's
Good.
a necessity.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good. I'm so glad you agree. And then hopefully, timing wise, dependent on what, if we can get all of those done, my plan is to do Tiana's as our sort of final morning ride before we head out of the park and go and have beignets over at Port Orleans French Quarter.
Yes, I love this plan. Break for beignets.
Yes, I mean a midday break for beignets, and after the theming of Tiana's as well, because for me, so I never did Splash Mountain as Splash Mountain. It was closed when we went on our honeymoon, and that was my
Mhm.
first time at Walt Disney World. So I've never seen it, and I've avoided watching all video content of Tiana's. So that's going to be like completely brand new territory for me. So I thought,
Mhm.
what better way, especially because it's one of my favorite films, than to do the ride, hear the music, be sort of, engulfed in it, and then go and have beignets.
All right. Are you going to also have regular lunch or are beignets your lunch?
We do have the quick service dining plan. So the likelihood is we will have lunch, but we haven't necessarily planned out what lunch will be. And I think that's because we are both people that we don't eat loads, but we snack
Uh-huh.
more frequently. So if
Got it.
anything, we'll end up sharing a meal
Mhm.
and then having more meals more often.
Which is a great way to make use of that quick service dining
Absolutely.
plan.
And that's new to
Yeah,
us. So I think it's going to be a case of trying to maximize it as much as possible. And I
sure.
think, I mean, I don't know what the food options are like at French Quarter, but if there's, good quick service options there, we might also do that.
That's what I was going to say is that the quick service at French Quarter, if you like that New Orleans style food, like gumbo, jambalaya, that sort of thing, they have that at the quick service.
Oh, this sounds good. There we
So,
go. I'm sold. That's my
themed
plans.
lunch.
Themed lunch. Love it.
Okay. And then will you be going back into the park after this break?
We will, but not until later on. So my plan for the afternoon is to then enjoy the resort. So I'd quite like to go to Riverside from Magic Kingdom, take the boat to French Quarter, just give
Hmm.
ourselves a little midday break before lunch, enjoy actually taking in the scenery because Disney can be very overwhelming. So I just want to make sure we are actually enjoying being in Disney. And then after we've had lunch and after we've had beignets, my thinking is take the bus back to Epcot, have a little wander through. That's sort of our route through to the Skyliner to get back to Pop. But obviously, if wait times are right and we're walking through, it would be rude not to maybe do one or two rides. Make use of our afternoon. And then, given this is our first full day, and I've already been a bit mad and planned to go to Disney Springs the night before, we want to go back and just have some chill time. And we obviously won't have really seen much of Pop during the day either. So yeah, plan is head back to the hotel, relax, maybe do some pool time, explore, get to know, our bearings, and then get ready to go back to Magic Kingdom for the fireworks in the evening.
Got it. That is a jam-packed day.
It is quite jam-packed, and I don't go as mad as doing like hour by hour like some people do, but I like to have a rough guide of,
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
things we want to see and do within
a
those
little
days.
outline. Right,
Absolutely. And I think
right.
to me, some of the fun of Disney is building a plan but allowing that plan to be flexible to be in Disney. Like you're still in a theme park, you might see something that you want to go and do, or characters might appear that you haven't seen before. And I
Mhm.
just want to be able to enjoy all of that and not be like, we are on a regimented schedule.
Right. Yep. It's like a scaffolding and it's just kind of
Yes,
there to give you some structure, but really you're kind of winging it in some
absolutely.
ways. All right. So, Saturday, June the 14th, which park?
Animal Kingdom.
Okay. And are you going to rope drop this day too?
We're rope
Cuz
dropping every day. I could just say that now,
oh,
right? Every day is a rope drop day.
okay.
Which I
Okay.
know sounds mad, but we found that's what worked for us on honeymoon
Mhm.
is being we're early birds anyway, so rope drop makes sense and then get out of the parks for a few hours when they're busy.
Sure. Okay. What are your priorities at Animal Kingdom?
Yes, so early entry rope drop, we would like to head straight to Flight of Passage.
Mhm.
That for me, that ride blows my mind. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. So,
Mhm.
Flight of Passage, safari, and then some sort of breakfast. Now, I'm thinking, and I can't remember what it's called, but there was some sort of breakfast bowl at Animal Kingdom that had like potato tots and cheese and bacon, I think, and it was just delicious.
I don't think I've had that one. I've
I'm
had
sure.
breakfast bowls other places on Disney property, but I don't think I've had that one yet.
Maybe I don't. I hope I'm not mixing up my
Are you
parks, but
talking about the breakfast Woody's breakfast
no,
bowl
not
at
no.
Hollywood
There's
Studios?
definitely a Woody's breakfast bowl there, but I'm sure we had some sort of bowl at Animal Kingdom for breakfast.
Yeah,
That's
I
it
don't
will
doubt that you
bug me
did.
now,
I
but
just don't I'm trying to think, like, on my Animal Kingdom days for breakfast, I tend to get, like, a pastry on those days, and it's
oh,
funny because I'm not normally, like, a pastry for breakfast person, but Animal Kingdom turns me into a pa pastry for
into a
breakfast
pastry
person.
person. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
Love that.
Alright, so what other things are you doing on this day?
So we also love the Lion King show. So
Mhm.
I would love to do that again. And we never did the rapids in December because of how cold it was. So the plan
Got
is
it.
River Rapids again at some point, Lion King and Navi River Journey. I am in awe of Navi River Journey. The animatronics, the lighting, the music, the whole storyline and theming. I know
Mhm.
some people think it's not a ride, but I just that one again blows my
Who
mind, takes me
who
away. I
doesn't
love
think
it.
it's a ride?
I mean, some people have said it's not a ride, but I
Mm,
disagree.
I totally disagree as well. All right. Do you have any dining reservations for this day?
Yes, so we are heading back to Disney Springs this day, and
Mhm.
we're heading to Summer House on the Lake, which is new for us. I know nothing other than reviews I've seen online, and those reviews have been good.
Summer House on the Lake is my new favorite.
Really?
I yes, I've been twice, and after the first time I went, I was like, "This is my new favorite." And then we went back for the second time, and I said, "Yep, it's still my new favorite." It's so good.
This is good to know. I think I was predominantly drawn in originally by a TikTok of the cookies.
The cookies are excellent. So I'd say even if you are not up for a cookie after eating a lunch or a dinner at Summer House, then you most certainly should grab some on your way out,
Take it with
even
us.
just to eat later. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good plan. So yeah, we're there for dinner actually. So I think that's quite a nice time because Animal Kingdom, again, there's a lot of controversy in the Disney world about if it's a full day or a half day park. For
Hmm.
me, it's a full day because there's so much just to do outside of rides at Animal Kingdom to walk around, to take in, sit by the Tree of Life, go and see the shows, go and see the birds of feathers. Like, I just love all of it.
Hmm. All right. Sunday, June 15th.
Yeah, so this is a Hollywood Studios day for us. However, we also have Topolino's this day
Ooh, for
for
breakfast?
breakfast. Yes.
Okay.
So the plan is Skyliner to Topolino's. That's obviously en route to Hollywood Studios anyway, so we'll stop in. Our breakfast off the top of my mind is a good one. It's quite early, it's about 7:45. So again, we're getting up early this day. We're having character breakfast and then we're heading straight into Hollywood Studios, into the parks.
What are you going to be focusing on at Hollywood Studios?
So our top two rides this morning is sort of like one for me and one for my husband. Slinky Dog and Rise of Resistance. That ride
Hmm.
for him, I think, just like immerses him in the movie so, so much. And I'm not a big Star Wars person, but I loved that ride. So I'm
Hmm.
more than happy that
Yeah.
that's on the list.
Yes, and Rise of the Resistance does have single rider now. So
Hmm.
you miss part of the queue experience. But if you really want to ride it more than one time, the single rider does not take that long to do. So basically, you kind of get added to the line after the stormtrooper room. So you miss sort of like the ride over to the stormtrooper room, but then you join for where they're putting you in your interrogation cells. So,
Okay, I love that. So actually, yeah, if we've done it once together and we want to do it
mhm,
again, that's a little
yep,
like hack, isn't it, to do it?
yep,
I love that. Yeah, so plan is those two in the morning. At this point, we'll probably be due for some sort of snack,
mhm,
especially, we would have had breakfast, couple of rides, have a snack. And then I'm thinking Mickey and Minnie's, if we can, again, hopefully ride dependent or lightning lanes, who knows what we'll end up buying. Toy Story Mania, again, we love that. It brings out our competitive edge a little bit, which is always quite fun. And
mhm.
then potentially a water park for a few
Oh, okay.
hours just to relax again, have some time to be off of our feet. Although I guess you're still probably walking around quite a lot at the water parks.
Probably. Which water park were you thinking of? Blizzard Beach or Typhoon
We were
Lagoon?
thinking Typhoon Lagoon.
Okay.
Again, water parks are brand new to us. We didn't do any in December. However, this summer, am I right in thinking they're both open?
They are, and they're not normally. Normally, it's one or the other. But for the summer, they will both be open. Now, they have a deal going right now for us at least that when on your check-in day, you get a free water park day. But
Yes,
it sounds to me like perhaps as a UK person, do you have water park access the entire
yes,
time?
yes. Water
God.
parks any day, every day.
Yet another thing. Oh, you guys are just winning.
I'm sorry, but yes,
It's
we get
okay.
that every day. So I did notice that actually. I think on my app it says you can go on your check-in day, and I thought, but I can go any day, surely.
Right, you can,
I think
which,
they've probably
for
just flagged
those
it.
of us in the US, it's that's the benefit. One of the benefits of a split stay is that you have multiple check-in days that gives you the access to the
Ah,
water park, but then by doing a split stay, you are also slightly disadvantaging yourself with choosing your, multipass lightning lane reservations in advance because the 7-day window, the start
moves.
of the 7-day yeah, it moves. You have multiple 7-day openings. that you have to deal with. But as far as like water park access goes, that you do get a benefit from having a
There's
sports day
always
for
a
that.
way to slightly make the system work for you, isn't there? And I think you
Mhm.
just have to
Yep.
find those. So
Yep.
yeah, we would like to do a water park. However, I have currently also reserved, and this was just so that we had options, beaches and cream in the afternoon. Again, in case we were, we just
Mm.
want to go and sit down, have a little treat somewhere. So it will be potentially one of the two. I don't think we'll have time for both.
Have you been to Beaches and Cream before?
Never. Would you recommend? Have you been?
I have, I have. It feels kind of like an American diner in terms of, like,
Okay.
the food. I feel like it's been a long time, but I feel like there was, like, a really good grilled cheese and tomato soup, that sort of thing. Of course, the ice cream there is very popular, and I do love ice cream, but I don't love it in gigantic containers. I just want a
Oh,
little bit of it. So,
interesting.
you're never gonna catch me getting the kitchen sink that they have there, but it
Do they
is
have
fun.
smaller options though,
Oh,
outside of
yes.
that one? Okay.
Yes. Yes, for sure. But it is fun to be there and sitting and watching other tables of people get
Yeah,
it.
try and eat it. That's a good point.
That's fun enough for me. I don't need to have it myself.
No, you
So,
can have your own smaller version and watch them give it a
mhm.
go. I love that.
Yep.
And then the plan that evening is fantastic, hopefully.
Okay. Love Phantasmic. All right, Monday, June 16th.
I don't know how we're on Monday already. We're just flying by, aren't we? Even just thinking about planning the days, the trip flies by. So June 16th is an Epcot day. So
Mhm.
we are planning again, rope drop every day, Skyliner over to Epcot. And because we're coming in on the Skyliner, that brings us to Remy's. So we would
Mhm.
like to get straight in the queue for Remy's. I think that makes sense as opposed to darting across the park.
Sure.
And from there, for us, Epcot is there's a few rides that we will leave out. And our priorities are probably Remy's, Frozen, and Guardians. They're like our go-tos.
Mhm. Do you think you will get a Lightning Lane single pass for Guardians?
I think that's probably a strong potential because we only really have outside of possibly the days when we might park hop back to Epcot in the afternoon. If we end up having some free time, we only really have one full day at Epcot. So this is the
Mhm.
day we're getting in. We want to do things, and dependent on our other plans, we may or may not go back there. So I think the
Sure.
sensible thing to do would be to hopefully rope drop Remy's, head to Frozen because that's sort of next on the way and the
Mhm.
route, and then the likelihood is if we can get a single lightning lane for Guardians, then that ticks all three of those off for us.
Right, and you could always book a single pass on any other day when you're hopping over there if they have any
Yeah,
left at a time that you want and if you want to pay for it, and
that's true. So we could do
loyal
Guardians
listeners
again.
know that I pretty much will do a single pass for Guardians every single day of my trip if I can
Will
fit it in.
you?
I just love it.
Wow.
It's my favorite.
I do. Do you know what? It's one again. I think we only did it once on honeymoon, but it's just one of those rides that you get off and you're like, wow, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. Make sure you keep in mind what song you got because I know for a fact I will ask you that in the post-trip interview.
That's fine. I will remember. I know for a fact our last song, because I didn't actually realize when we did it the last time that it had multiple songs. So I got off and I was like, wow, I love it. That song goes so well with the ride. Then I started to discover that you could get multiple songs. But we
Uh-huh.
actually had September on our honeymoon. And for me, I
Okay.
loved it.
Well, I will be excited to hear what you get this time. What else are you doing on this day? Any dining reservations or anything?
No dining reservations this day, so we'll be reliant on our quick service dining plan this day to just see
Mhm.
how we feel. Obviously, Epcot has got a plethora of options for us, so we're not going to be short of food
Mhm.
options. And we would possibly like to do in the afternoon Moana. I love the walkthrough of Moana. And
Mhm.
Soaring. I never did Soaring, and I've heard very, very good things about it. So that
Oh
is on
yeah.
my list.
First time at Soarin'. That's so
Yes, first time
exciting.
at Soaring, I know.
I love it. All right. Let's see. Tuesday, June 17th.
So we're back at Animal Kingdom this day.
Mhm.
And slightly different priorities. We are planning on trying to do Everest and Safari in the morning.
Okay. Everest is a great one to do at rope drop time because you
Yes,
can ride it multiple times in a row.
yes. And I think possibly on our honeymoon, we noticed that when you get off, the queue is just quite quiet, isn't it? That you can just
Mhm.
keep going.
Oh,
So
Alex likes to we try to beat our record every time where
really,
we because we always buy a single pass for Flight of Passage, our rope drop strategy is always Everest, and he wants to ride it as many times in a row until the weight becomes more than we want to wait. I think we're at 6 in a row. That is our
I
record.
love this. Maybe we could try and beat your six while we're there. Or just
Oh,
even
please.
get to six. I love that.
I think you can definitely do it. I will tell you my advice because I've tried it multiple ways, and riding it multiple times in a row and always requesting the same seat gets you not feeling great faster, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think you just because some people have a preference to where they sit. Like my preference is the back, but I've tried it where I've ridden the back every time. And I find that I do much better when I just let fate take over and whatever seat they give me. And by changing it up every single time, I can ride
I
for
guess
more
maybe
times.
for like brainwaves and nerves and experiences,
Yeah.
is a slightly different seat probably feels
It-
slightly different.
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I
All
love
right.
that. Well, we'll give that a go. And then I think it would be rude not to meet Safari Mickey this day. So the
Oh,
plan is go
yeah.
and meet Mickey in his safari gear. And I do quite like to try and theme my outfit slightly to the park. So very good
Yes.
photo opportunities there as well.
Hmm.
And then in the afternoon, I would like to do River Journey again, probably River Rapids again. And then for food wise, just because I've specifically written down in my plans that I want to try this food that I've never had before, the bao buns from Satuli Canteen.
Hmm. Yep.
I really want to try those.
Okay. All right. They're like cheeseburger flavored, right?
Cheeseburger buns, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not a big bao bun person, so I have had them and they're fine. I'm just not like into bao buns that much, but they're tasty and there's
Yeah, we
lots of good
are
things
we
at
are bao bun
Satuli.
people. So
Oh,
I'm
most
hoping that
people
means
are.
we'll love them. But
I tell you what I am a fan of is the Pixar short Bao. Have
Pixar
you not
short
seen that?
bao.
Yeah, there's a Pixar short called Bao, and it's this woman makes like a little bao bun, but then it kind of comes to life and it's really sweet. It's maybe like 10 minutes long. It's on Disney Plus if you have it.
I do have
Um
Disney Plus. How have I never seen this?
and it you realize kind of towards the end that this like it's not really a live bao bun as much as it represents her child. It is very emotional. So just to warn you.
It's going straight on the list.
Yeah,
Love
you
it.
gotta let me know how you feel about it
Yes,
afterwards because
I will watch
like
that.
it is a little bit, um, I don't know. There's just something about it that I think is a little hard to watch because
Yeah.
everything that has to do with people who have struggled with fertility, and then also just people who are getting ready to see their children fly the nest. That's an emotional one for me, but it's
It
so well
sounds like I
done.
need to watch it when I'm in a good space. Probably when
Yes,
I'm like in
for
a happy
sure.
Disney
That's what I
place.
was trying to say is
Yeah.
basically like be prepared. Don't just watch it on some random day. Pick your
No,
time wisely,
don't watch
but
it when
it's
I'm feeling
beautifully
sad.
done. Yeah, but it's beautifully done. It really is.
Oh, that
So,
sounds amazing. And then the evening of this day, we are heading to Steakhouse 71
mhm.
and then possibly Magic Kingdom for a couple of hours afterwards to do some nighttime rides.
That is a very easy thing to do from there. You can just
So
walk
close,
over.
right?
Yeah, it's not gonna be like, "Oh, it's this big headache to get over there," um, it not making it worth it. It will totally be worth it even if you go over there for 30 minutes.
Perfect. Love
Yeah.
that.
All right, Wednesday, June 18th.
So Wednesday 18th, we are back at Magic Kingdom. And the
Mhm.
plans are slightly more, they're starting to become a bit more relaxed now. We've still got our go-to rides that we want to do. So we're gonna rope drop again. Tron is always going to be on the list. However, I have seen lots of videos at the moment that are saying people are waiting in the Tron queue in their
Mhm.
30-minute early entry period. So that queue is just
Yes.
building up and building up. So the likelihood is we will avoid that. We'll go and do all the other lovely things that we can do in rope drop, and we'll
Mhm.
either loop back and do it later in the day because I think for us, if you've managed to get a couple of things done in early entry, I actually
Mhm.
don't then mind waiting for like one ride, for example, a
Right.
slightly longer time, or we'll
Mhm.
buy a single lightning lane. And then
Yes.
the afternoon on this day, believe it or not, for the planner that I am, is free.
Okay.
This is
Leaving
free for
yourself
spontaneity.
open for you've got your planned spontaneity. I love it.
Indeed.
Lisa, I think you and I have a lot in common.
That's good to hear.
Oh my
My
gosh.
husband says he loves Disney and he loves the fun of Disney, but he always says it's planned fun, and I'm like, no, the plan is not. It's not planned fun. It's like you say, it's a framework, it's a scaffold, and there is
Mhm.
room for free time.
Right, right. I love it.
And then we will probably go back for the fireworks as well in the evening. However, I think on day one fireworks, we'll try and make sure we're, in the hustle and bustle on Main Street, seeing it all, taking in, the light show on the shops, on the
Mhm,
castle, seeing it in full view. On the second time, I'm probably slightly more chill about let's maybe watch it from somewhere else that we haven't before.
mhm,
So, I've heard really good things about going and watching it from near the Tangled bathrooms and sort of seeing the
mhm.
beauty of the lights there and the fireworks. So I think that day we'll try and avoid being in the crowds when we watch it.
That sounds like a very good plan. And then if you are a people lover, not people lover, people mover
People
lover. I'm
mover,
sure you're I'm
yes.
sure you're a people lover
I
too,
love
but
people and the people mover.
and the people mover. It is a lot of fun to do the people mover during Happily Ever After
That's true. That's a really
because you go
nice
right past the
idea.
castle. Yeah.
How do you
So,
time that though? I guess the fireworks are on long enough that if you haven't quite timed it right, you can just get back in the queue.
well, you could get back in the queue, but also if there's not much of a queue, you just give this little hand signal and be
Do
like,
you?
Can I write it again?" You just like make a little like question face and like do that and they're just like, "Yeah," and then you just stay on.
I love that. So we could get some sort of quick service or snack, take it with us to the people mover and just,
Well, you can't eat on the people mover.
oh,
You're not supposed to anyway.
interesting.
I
Okay.
know plenty of
Can't
people
do
who
that plan.
sneak on coffee with them and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, just have a sweet look on your face that's showing you're asking
Well,
a
yeah.
question and make the little roundabout symbol with your hand and they'll know.
And that's quite a nice little plan, isn't it? Like almost like a little date night. Sit on the people mover, watch the
Yes.
fireworks. Yeah, love that.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So that brings us to Thursday, June 19th.
No, I don't want to talk about Thursday, June 19th because it's our last day. But we have to have it, right? Holidays come to an end. So our last final day, this is actually in theory on paper one of my favorite days because we have a new plan that we haven't done before that also kind of ties into our honeymoon. So I think it's going to feel quite special. So we are going to rope drop again. Tower of Terror is the plan, rocking roller coaster, and then head to Woody's for breakfast because we love Woody's lunchbox for the breakfast options.
Mhm.
And then afternoon, we are thinking head back out of the park. Obviously, we will have had some very full on days and do another water park or pool. So we might be able to do an afternoon at each water park based on our previous day.
Mhm.
And then the evening, this was one of my husband's finds. We are going to Ohana's, which I haven't sort of announced to anyone on social media either. So this is amazing because when the podcast comes out, I will have done it already. And we have managed to book a table at Ohana's for dinner when the fireworks are on.
Fantastic.
So I'm very
Okay.
excited about that. And that's also because on our last night of our honeymoon, we were trying to book a dinner, and a cast member said, "Oh, we've got California Grill. Do you want to go there?" We knew
Mhm.
nothing about it. We said, "Sure, sounds great." We didn't realize at that point that they did what they do at California Grill during the time
Mhm.
that you go. So when the music started playing, the fireworks were on, we were like, what a way to round up our honeymoon. So this
Uh-huh.
this visit to Ohana, I think, just feels like a little link in to our
Mhm.
previous trip because we're ending it in a new restaurant but with a similar experience.
Yeah. So that now this is going to be your tradition. So I
I
think
think
that
so.
you're doing Ohana this time, and then the next time you go, maybe you should aim for something like Narcoossee's or Citricos over
Where are they?
at the Grand Floridian. And they're on the water.
Oh,
So they will pipe in the music there as well.
that's amazing. Yeah, and I like that as a tradition because I think it's important to just, whether it's one meal or, you're someone that does it once a day at Disney, I think it's
Hmm.
important to just take that time to slow down and actually remember you're in like the most magical place on earth. So take it in,
Exactly.
sit down, absorb it, and just for us, that little like date night on our final night feels like a really
Yeah.
nice tradition.
I love that. Ugh.
It's only a second tradition, but it still counts, right?
No, 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 it counts. It totally counts. This is a tradition now. So, sadly, that brings us to your last day, your departure day,
It does.
Friday, June the 20th.
Yes.
So, what time is your flight on that Friday?
Good question. I should know this, shouldn't I? But I don't. Our flight home is at 10 to 6 in the evening. So it's quite a late one. So we will still have time in the morning.
Mhm.
However, being from the UK and knowing what the heat will be like in Orlando, I don't want to get myself all hot and bothered before I'm heading on a 9-hour flight.
Right. What do you plan to do with your day
I
up until
think
when you need to go to the
this
airport?
will be possibly resort hop for breakfast and even just to
Mhm.
walk around a little bit. Maybe we go on the Skyliner to Riviera for quick service. Maybe we wander around Caribbean Beach. And then I think pool time and home.
This is gonna be an amazing trip. I'm
I
very
hope
excited
so.
for you.
It
I'm very
doesn't feel
excited for
real
you.
yet. I don't know when it starts to feel real. Like even for someone like yourself, when you go
Mhm.
regularly, do you ever just on that build up know you're going but not think it's real?
Yeah, sort of. I think when it starts to feel real for me is when I get out at the MCO airport and usually see that carpet because I'm traditionally in Terminal B, although I do love to fly into Terminal C. Terminal C is my favorite, and I think
That's
you
the
will be
newer
flying into
one.
Terminal C. Yeah,
See,
because a
I
lot of the
think Virgin
international
flew
flights.
into Terminal, the other one before with the carpet and the flag.
Hmm, let's see.
I don't know if there's a way to know though, but Nats, when she just
Virgin
went, she flew into Terminal C.
Virgin Atlantic is in Terminal A.
Oh, okay.
It looks like at MCO. So there are other international flights that fly into C.
Does A have the carpet?
A has the carpet. A and B are
Okay,
basically they're two terminals, but it feels like one because they're connected in the center.
right. Okay,
So when you're standing in the center, you can see both of the security lines for each.
okay. So that's
Um,
that same
mhm,
square
yep,
carpet flag that
yeah,
everybody sees and
mhm,
knows. And I think when you see
yeah.
that, you just feel settled.
Well, you feel settled, and I think it's a combination of the carpet. It's a combination of when you get off your plane into the gangway, you immediately feel the heat, like it's a
Yes.
little bit more humid there. And then when you are taking the tram, and I one day I'm going to
Monorail.
get this down. It's not called the monorail. I cannot
But it
remember what
feels
it's
like a
called.
monorail.
It's basically a monorail ride. When you hear Mayor Buddy Dyer welcome you to Orlando on on that voiceover there, those are the things that make me feel like it's real. Up
Yeah,
until then, it is stressful. I get very stressed out with making sure I pack everything, getting to the airport on time. I start to feel settled once we are at our gate and we're boarding the plane, and then I really am able to kind of like whew, and I
breathe.
feel like I'm in the buddy the bubble. I feel like I'm in the Disney bubble when I get off of the airport.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that feeling of calm for
Mhm.
me, like, yeah, it just takes over. And one of the reasons we booked to go back as well in sort of in June was we knew with the fertility treatment we'd be starting that later on in the year. And I just
Mhm.
really wanted that piece of Disney to almost like hold on to before that and to
Yeah.
know I've done it, I've been there, and that's gonna put me into like my calm space.
Mhm. Yeah. And the beauty of having done this podcast is that you can re-listen to it over and over again and relive your
Yes.
trip.
And I can
So,
then relive if the plans came to fruition.
exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, Lisa, have a magical trip and be safe and enjoy your planned spontaneity.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me. I have loved just talking about Disney and being in the bubble with you for an hour or so. It's been amazing.
So much fun, and I can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining me on the show. And thank you all, as always, for listening. If this is your first time hearing the show, the post trip report episode is always up next in your queue after the pre trip interview. So make sure that you have subscribed to the show on the podcast app you are listening on now to make sure that you have all of that ready to go and so you can hear how her trip panned out. So, what are you waiting for? Let's get to that post trip report episode. And in the meantime, as always, keep daydreaming about where you long to be.